Welcome, focused learners, to this elite masterclass explainer. If you are preparing for the Cambridge AS Level Afrikaans Language exam, specifically syllabus 8679, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we are opening up the examiner's playbook. We are in our digital studio, and we are going to crack the code on paper 2, which focuses on 2 passages on related themes. Let's be real for a second. Most students walk into this exam completely blind to how the marking actually works. We are going to change that right now. We'll be looking directly at the source material, drawing from highly guarded principal examiner reports and syllabus guidelines to show you exactly how this paper is assessed. We aren't just going to look at what you need to know, but exactly how you need to think, how you need to structure, and how you must present your answers to unlock those top-tier marks. I want you to treat this like a high-stakes strategy session. To help us out, I'm going to walk you through a recent session I had in our collaborative digital studies suite with 2 incredible scholars. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Alex is highly technical, absolutely excels at extracting facts and formulas, but struggles with open-ended evaluation. Sam, on the other hand, is a wildly creative thinker, fantastic at building arguments, but really struggles with structural precision and strict time management. Throughout this masterclass, we'll use their actual debates to show you exactly where candidates lose marks and how you can avoid those exact traps. So get ready to take some intense mental notes, because this is going to be game-changing.
Notice the single, powerful number dominating the screen right now. 15%. Why is this number so absolutely crucial? Did you know that paper 2, 2 passages on related themes, accounts for approximately 15% of your total marks for the entire Afrikaans language AS level qualification? That is a massive chunk of your final grade sitting right here in one single paper. This isn't just a minor hurdle. It is a high-stakes battleground where your overall grade can literally be won or lost. Understanding how to master this specific paper gives you an incredible leverage point for your final results. When you are dealing with high-tariff questions, those massive 9 to 15 mark behemoths, every single sentence you write needs to be mathematically calculated to score points. You can't just write and hope for the best. You need a surgical approach, and that 15% is the prize we are hunting today.
To make sure we capture every single one of those marks available to us, here is our clear, reassuring roadmap for today's explainer. First, mastering core exam principles. Second, our step-by-step technical methodology. Third, cracking critical analysis. And finally, avoiding top examiner traps. This is your exclusive look into how Cambridge examiners actually grade this paper.
Let's dive right into Section 1, Mastering Core Exam Principles, the Theoretical Architecture. Okay. This is where we separate the average students from the elite. The theoretical architecture of paper 2 rests on a few key pillars, and you can see them mapped out here into 3 distinct cognitive domains. First, knowledge and understanding, also known as Assessment Objective 1, or AO1. This is your baseline. Do you grasp the facts? Second, analysis, or AO2. This is where you prioritize analytical depth over superficial breadth, dissecting the text systematically. And third, evaluation, AO3. This is higher-order thinking, making rigorous judgments based on evidence. To achieve a top-tier band, successful candidates must demonstrate mastery across all 3 of these domains simultaneously. Now, let's do a detailed breakdown of command word anatomy, because this is where students instantly drop marks. Let's look at my interactive smartboard here. Imagine I'm using a digital highlighter to isolate 2 specific command words, analyze versus evaluate. When Cambridge asks you to analyze, they want AO2. They want you to take the text apart, show how the pieces fit together, and explain the mechanics of the passage. But when they ask you to evaluate, that is AO3 territory. You can't just explain how it works, you have to judge its value, weigh up alternatives, and decide how effective it is. It's the same with explain versus to what extent. Explain means clarifying a concept, but to what extent has a hidden constraint. It demands that you build a balanced argument showing both the strengths and the limitations. If you just explain when the prompt says to what extent, you have immediately capped your score. You literally cannot reach the top band. Let's look at this crucial equation. Cross-topic connections equals significantly higher marks. This isn't a guess. This is a direct, verified insight pulled straight from the principal examiner reports. The examiners explicitly note that candidates who reference cross-topic connections and demonstrate logical, structured reasoning are the ones who unlock the highest scores. Let me bring Alex and Sam back into this. I was watching them on the split screen in our study suite, working on a complex comparative question. Alex immediately started pushing for a purely factual approach. Alex argued, look, we just need to list out the events from both passages. If we get the facts down, we get the marks. But Sam fired back, no way, Alex. If we just list facts, we're stuck in AO1. We need a broader conceptual perspective. We have to show how the political theme in passage A connects to the cultural theme in passage B. And Sam hit the nail on the head. The top marks require a connected, conceptual understanding that transfers to unfamiliar contexts. You have to show the examiner that you don't just see the subject in isolated bubbles, but as a cohesive, integrated whole. That theoretical foundation brings us perfectly into Section 2, Step-by-Step Technical Methodology, the Method Marks Strategy. Knowing the theory is absolutely essential, but it is only half the battle. Now we shift our focus to the actual test day procedure. I am super excited to introduce you to the Method Marks Strategy. In Paper 2, examiners actually award marks for the process itself. They want to see your clear working and your systematic approach just as much as your final conclusion. Let's walk chronologically through the standardized, foolproof 6-step processing sequence you must use. Step 1. Deconstruct the question. Isolate the command word and the hidden constraints. Step 2. Extract relevant data from the stimulus materials. Step 3. Select the appropriate analytical framework. Step 4. Execute your analysis. Step 5. Verify your results. And finally, Step 6. Present. Let's look at Alex and Sam trying to execute this. They are drafting a model response paragraph by paragraph on screen. Alex says, okay, Step 2, extract data. Text A says the economy fell by 4%. Text B says unemployment rose. Sam jumps to Step 4. Right, let's execute. So the economy fell and unemployment rose. Done. This is where they hit a massive roadblock. They had the facts, but their timing was falling apart, and they had absolutely no structural flow. They were essentially just throwing data at the page without linking it logically. They were completely stuck on how to move from execution to a polished presentation. This is exactly when I had to use the picture-in-picture feature to pause their session, step in, and explain the cognitive strategy they needed to get unstuck. I told them, freeze frame right there, guys. You are ignoring Step 6, presentation. The principal examiner reports emphasize that the final step, presentation, must follow strict conventions. Proper headings, correct terminology, appropriate formats, and clear annotation are not optional. This practical application is literally part of the grading criteria. If you have a brilliant analysis but present it in a messy, unstructured format without the correct academic terminology, you are throwing away easy marks. You are doing the hard work and getting zero reward for it. This leads us right into Section 3, cracking critical analysis, elevating evaluative thinking. If you want those top grades, you have to elevate to higher-order assessment objectives. This demands evaluating alternatives, questioning assumptions, and justifying recommendations with hard evidence. Notice how the comparative analysis bridge here requires identifying similarities and identifying differences. You absolutely must address both sides. So let's go back to Alex and Sam. They were stuck on linking their paragraphs. I told them, we are going to rewrite this flawed section out loud right now. Their original mediocre answer was, text A shows an economic drop. Text B shows an unemployment rise. That's purely descriptive. I showed them how to transition to a flawless, full-mark response using comparative connectives. We rewrote it to say, while text A highlights a 4% economic decline as the primary catalyst, text B presents a contrasting perspective, evaluating the subsequent rise in unemployment not as a result, but as a parallel systemic failure. Therefore, the similarities in their economic focus are ultimately overshadowed by their fundamentally different conclusions on causation. Boom! Do you see the difference? We bridged the evidence, we drew a conclusion, and we elevated the entire paragraph from simple AO1 knowledge to elite AO3 evaluation. That is how you crack critical analysis. All right, we are entering the interactive visual workshop phase of this masterclass. I want you to look closely at this highlighted examiner alert. This is a direct, high-value warning regarding a consistent candidate error, confusing key terminology. To stop throwing away points, the examiners give a crystal-clear instruction. Always define terms before using them in extended responses. Let's do a quick pause and practice right now. Scene 1 of our workshop. I am displaying a complex text excerpt on the interactive board. Imagine a 60-second visual countdown timer appearing. If the text uses the term socioeconomic disparity and the prompt asks you to evaluate it, what is the very first thing you do? Time's up. The answer is you define it. By taking one single sentence to clearly define your key term at the start of your paragraph, you instantly signal to the examiner that you know exactly what you are talking about, locking in your foundation before you build your argument. Okay, right before we dive into solving the absolute hardest part of the exam, the top examiner traps, I'm going to pause our session for a quick, crucial reminder. If you are finding these high-level strategies valuable, I need you to subscribe to the channel Ace the Exams IGCSE O and A Levels at the handle @acetheexam_IGCSE. Do it right now and make sure you enable all notifications so you never miss a weekly Cambridge breakthrough strategy. You should be seeing a visual pop-up animation of the subscribe button and the notification bell being clicked on your screen right now. Make sure yours looks exactly like that.
Welcome back. Let's enter the final phase of the masterclass, Section 4, Avoiding Top Examiner Traps, Lessons from the Source. We are moving into Scene 2 of our interactive visual workshop, Spot the Flaw. I am going to systematically list the top 3 mistakes cited in principal examiner reports, breaking down exactly where students are throwing away points. Warning 1, confusing cause and effect. Warning 2, forgetting format and presentation. Warning 3, answers lacking specific context. Now, I'm displaying a poorly written student answer on the board. The student wrote, "The events caused a lot of problems because things got bad." The format is a letter. Text A and B both talk about the community. Let's dissect this. Where are the 3 errors? First, events caused a lot of problems completely confuses cause and effect. What triggered what? It's horribly vague. Second, they just stated the format is a letter. Instead of actually presenting their answer in the proper format, with headings and annotations, they forgot the presentation rules entirely. And third, talk about the community is an answer lacking specific context. It is a general, memorized statement that could apply to 100 different passages. Your data interpretation, your relationships, and your evidence-based conclusions must be inextricably linked to the specific, precise context of the passages provided in front of you. That is how you avoid the traps.
So how do we encode all of this before exam day? Here's a quick, actionable memory hack straight from the source material. Use a visual story method to encode paper 2 concepts because you are dealing with 2 passages on related themes. Picture the concepts as characters in a story interacting with one another. Visualizing the structure, the cause and effect, and the cross-topic connections as a mental movie makes it incredibly easy to retain. After our session, Alex and Sam shared their personal breakthroughs with me. Alex said, "I finally get it. I can't just list facts. The facts are just the characters. The evaluation is the plot." Sam agreed. And my creative arguments mean absolutely nothing if I don't follow the structural presentation rules. To synthesize this entire masterclass, I want you to remember 3 core memorable pillars. 1, the 3-step question scan. Always isolate the command word, identify the cognitive domain, and find the hidden constraint. 2, the paragraph balance formula. Always bridge similarities and differences using comparative connectives. And 3, the last 5 minutes review checklist. Always verify your formatting, headings, and define terminology before time is up. As we bring this explainer to a close, I want to leave you with a powerful synthesis of our core lessons today. Crushing Cambridge exams requires a consistent strategy. It requires stepping far away from mere memorization and stepping confidently into the theoretical architecture and the rigorous procedural framework we've outlined today. The only way you will achieve mastery is to practice past paper questions and relentlessly apply this exact examiner methodology to every single one of them. This is your final call to action. I want to know exactly what you are aiming for. What is your target grade for Syllabus 8679? Leave a comment down below right now and claim it. Remember, crushing Cambridge exams requires consistent strategy. I am explicitly instructing you to hit that subscribe button for Ace the Exams IGCSE O and A Levels at the handle @acetheexam_IGCSE. Turn on the notification bell for future exam hacks and never miss a masterclass. The visuals are fading out, but your preparation is just beginning. Apply the strategy, trust the methodology, and I will see you in the next one. Happy studying.